Welcome to Global from Asia, our episode for today, episode number 366.
All right, let's do this. Talking more about the blimp and the technicalities of brand licensing for e-commerce. Let's go.
Welcome to the Global from Asia podcast, where the daunting process of running an international business is broken down into straight up actionable advice. And now, your host, Michael Michelini.
So Aubrey, good job. You have internet and electricity in the typhoon in the Philippines. I know many of our team is offline right now, so it's good to have you here with us.
Yeah, fortunately, on our area, we're not that badly affected by the typhoon. So, yeah, I hope for the safety of my fellow Filipino.
Yeah, what is there a name of this typhoon? Did they give it a name?
Yeah, it's called Bagyong Odette here in the Philippines.
Baguio Adet.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know the English name, but we can stick with the Tagalog name, Baguio. Baguio. I know I've heard
Bagyo
of.
means typhoon, and
Oh,
Odette is the name of it.
so its name is Typhoon.
Typhoon Odette.
Oh, Adet. Okay. Interesting. Well, yeah, I really, of course, a lot of our amazing team members is in the Philippines. We're always impressed, and a lot of I believe a lot of our listeners also work with a lot of our team members in the Philippines. Always impressed with the ability and the hard work of Filipinos. So yeah, I really hope that especially our team, but of course all Filipinos are safe right now. Hopefully we can get back online. I mean, we have some really talented people that have no electricity right now in our own team. So yeah, it's Friday right now, December 17th. The show will go online later into next week on Tuesday, the 21st of 2020. This is, I think, our last show of the new year. Maybe I'm kind of actually we did this week to week. We usually do it every other week, but we might go back to weekly, right, Aubrey? I mean, we're also talking to some of our GFA VIP members to have them even guest host and have some other guests. So that might make us be more often into the new year, right?
Yeah, and I'm excited actually for the content we're going to make with them.
Yeah, so we're trying to have this more community organized at Global from Asia and have that hopefully can have us tap into even more amazing guests and experts in our amazing community that are outside maybe the people I know or can connect with. So we're really excited for that. We're also going to have a new campaign, Survivor 2021, I think. We survived 2021. We're still working out the details, but that's gonna be some new thing we'll be sharing. Hopefully, I'll also probably mention on an upcoming podcast. We'll have some gifts and some other benefits for people that get into that year end campaign, because it really is I mean, we survived this year. I mean, the last couple of years have been really unbelievable. I know all of us, you and me as well, Aubrey, right, going through some tough times, with isolation and online only. So excited to go through next year, right?
Yeah. And I hope it will be better next year. And yeah, and it's worth to celebrate that we overcome the 2021 and we're still
Yeah,
here.
we're still here, and we're gonna thrive, and we're getting some people to join this new blimp method, BLIMP, brand licensing improved program here. We had a few people already sign up. We have this little campaign. We just introduced it on our last show with Luciano, so people have been listening to the show and getting involved, asking questions. I did a call with somebody, George, yesterday. He's confirmed, and then Bob and some others are coming on board to join the blimp. And we're really excited to get all this lined up for the January 2022, which leads to this week's show. Mayor, I know you already checked. You weren't with us at the interview this time, Aubrey. I've been trying to get Mayor. He's so busy. I went to his office, and we did this in person at his office. It's a pretty cool background on the video, but yeah, I know you've already listened to the episode. What did you think so far?
Yeah, I've saw that one and I actually like his office and
Yeah.
also about the discussion. It's really great and it's undetailed. It will be really helpful to the community and those people who are interested in this new program.
Yeah, so let's go into Mayor. He's been on the show a couple of times. He was also advising us in the e-commerce gladiator program and helped a lot with the Satano brand there that we developed here live on this show over those years. And he'll be alongside us advising again and helping in the Blimp program. He's also got the software he's building for the licensing, or already has built, and he's got amazing insights. He's the mastermind that's thought of this whole brand licensing program. And it's a pleasure to bring him on to introduce this program in more detail. We get into a little bit more of the technicalities this week. So last week we had Luciano talking about Excalibur Brothers and the branding and the licensing and the opportunity. Today, it's actually kind of a nice little follow-up because Mayor dives more into the details and the technicalities. So let's tune in. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to a Global from Asia show. We have video here, so it took a little bit, we mostly audio. I know a lot of you listening on iTunes, but also if you want to check out the video version, it's been a while since we've had you back on the show, Mayor Sim, e-commerce veteran here, expert in Shenzhen, China. So thanks for coming on the show. We got a lot to talk about today. Do you want to give those that learning about you the first time a little intro?
Yeah, sure. Awesome. So first of all, thank you for having me again here in your podcast. So Mei Simchi, e-commerce entrepreneur. I've been living in Shenzhen, China for the past 15 years. I'm running Accelerator, Brand Masters Accelerator. We're helping entrepreneurs to build e-commerce businesses, private label, Amazon. And now we are working on a new startup. It's a software platform and a marketplace that helps connecting brands and sellers with the licensing model.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about today. So the last episode we just had was with Luciano, and he and I are working together on a brand, and we're getting your expertise as always and support to use your software platform. And then we're also applying this first cohort or group of the Blimp method. So we got a lot to cover today, and maybe we'll probably have you on more. But I think first is, I think I was just at a meetup with Chris Davey here, had an FBA meetup, and I was explaining to some people, it still seems like it's a new concept, right? This brand licensing in the e-commerce space.
Yeah, so basically brand licensing is actually not a new concept. It's not a new model. It's been there for a pretty long time, but it's new for e-commerce because brand licensing is based on the principle of exclusivity. And exclusivity is something that you usually implement on a territory, on a geographical territory. You need to define where you're going to allow some sellers or distributors to distribute or sell your products, market your products. And this definition is actually defined in a contract, this licensing contract. And what's happened with e-commerce is that in e-commerce, there are no borders.
Yeah.
People can log in to any website from anywhere in the world and just buy products. So the traditional brand licensing model was relevant mostly for offline retailing. Mm-hmm. And that's why most of the e-commerce sellers don't really look at it as an e-commerce business model.
True. So it's exciting. We've been friends so long. Most of our time in China, we've known each other, and we've done various projects. Some of you remember the Gladiator series. That was fun. And so I've been learning from your model for the last few years, and I think maybe today we can talk about some examples because this is not a concept. You've been doing this for years with your brand.
Yeah. So we've been experimenting, and of course we used one of my brands to experiment and see how we can implement this model in e-commerce online, and also how we can get the insights that we need in order to create this software, to create the platform, and then eventually the marketplace. The thing is that when we started, we actually started with the franchising model, not licensing. So franchising is like a sub-model of licensing. Franchising is a type of licensing. The main difference between franchising and licensing is that in franchising you have to, as a franchisor, you have more commitment, and you have to deliver more value to your franchisees in terms of systems, support, supply chain, sometimes even the product themselves. You actually provide a business out of the box.
True.
And the challenge we experienced is that we had to deal, me and my team, of course, we had to deal with few businesses at the same time, running a successful brand with franchisees, and also developing the whole concept, the whole model, the software. So it created some bottlenecks for us. It doesn't mean the franchising model is not good. It is good. It can fit some of the brands. It's some kind of strategy, and you as a brand need to decide what kind of strategy you want to use, if you want to go the licensing route or the franchising route.
Sure.
And licensing is more like leveraging your brand equity, and then giving a little bit more freedom for your licensees to launch their own products, but under your brand name, of course, with some limitations. There is a legal framework that you have to create, and a contract and everything, but it gives you as a brand more freedom, and it gives the licensee also more, let's say, rights, or let's say ownership on their creation, because basically they are the guys that bring in the product to the brand. They create it, so they have a little bit more ownership on the product. But they still using your brand. The intellectual property is still yours as a licensor. So there are a lot of similarities between the models, but the software and platform and everything that we developed can fit both models. It all depends on you as a brand, how you want to operate, how you want to work, and deliver your value to your licensees.
Man, I'm still learning. Man. Years with you, but I'm still learning. So I'd love to maybe know a little bit more about, they have more own rights if they're a licensor, but at least for Luciano and Excalibur Brothers, we're looking at the franchise model, where this first group in the program will have a business in a box. So we'll help. We're in China anyway. We know the sourcing and the factories, so we'll help them, with the supplier and the supply chain working, also with your systems. But so the license model is more. We as the brand don't get as involved with what the licensee does, right? They can just find their own supplier. They can. Of course, it's got to be approved by the brand, right?
Exactly.
That's the most important part, is the samples are approved and the product is approved. And
So you as a brand, just in the licensing model, you just provide the brand's properties and allow the licensee to use it in order to market his products. And of course, he must obey some kind of guidelines that you have to define in this legal contract. But there is more space, more freedom on both sides. On the other hand, when you go the franchise model, in the franchise model, it's more like, if we can look at, like, for example, Pizza Hut. So when you become a franchisee of Pizza Hut or McDonald's, they will provide you the exact recipes, they will provide you the raw materials, you will have to work on their system, you will have to be aligned with every guidelines, with every rule, everything. It's like a chain or a network. So of course it's more valuable for the franchisee, because he gets something that is just ready to operate, and he doesn't have to take care of supply chain and suppliers and all this stuff. But he also more, let's say, there are more constraints. When you go the licensing route, for example, if the licensee, it depends also how you define your contract. So if it's, let's say, based on a time frame, and you define, like, you give this contract for someone to 1 year or 2 years or unlimited, it depends on you as a brand and on your program structure. But then he have more rights in terms of if he wants, for example, to transfer this license to someone else. So yeah, he have to work harder a little bit, but then is kind of like his asset, almost like his asset. So the investing that he does in building his product or sales will pay off eventually because he create or build his own asset.
I understand. Which goes right into the next question. I think it's good we talked about it earlier. I know it's a question I get a lot. I think you get a lot. There's a lot of experienced sellers watching today. I know a lot of them. They're our friends now, and I guess this is probably more for a new seller than an experienced seller, but an experienced seller wonders why would a new seller do this, or what's the value? Because I think a lot of PL, private label, is about building the brand and the equity. But I think I have my answer too, but I think you have the best answer for that, right? What's the opportunity? But I think it's speed and it's low cost of investment. Right?
Yeah, the entry barriers. Of course, the entry barriers. So usually, as a new seller, when you want to start this kind of business, especially private label these days, you have to invest a lot in education, trial and error. It takes some time. You need to find your suppliers. You need to order samples. You need to go through a lot of steps in order to build your business.
And brand registry now.
Yeah, brand registry, and it takes a lot to build this business because the brands you have to build these days compared to the brands you had to build 5 or 6 years ago is totally different. Now people expect real brands, not just private label brands. Before it was enough to take a generic product and maybe stamp a logo on it, put it in a nice packaging, and then you put it on Amazon and you make sales and you can call yourself a brand owner. But now it's not enough. Now you have to build brand equity. You have to build your audience. You have to have fans. You have to invest in a lot of branding, which is building your brand identity and all this stuff that costs a lot of money, and also it requires experience. The benefit for a new seller to go through this program is to learn by doing. Learning by doing, because you work closely with the brand. You see how the brand behaves. You see how the brand promotes itself. And it's a very good way to start your business and generate some income before you even decided what you want to sell. Before you decided, before you understand how brands are selling or marketing or building themselves. So if you have the money and you have the time and you have the knowledge and experience and all the resources that you need in order to build a brand, go for it. Build your own brand.
Agreed.
But for new sellers, usually they would want to take a minimal risk before they fully understand and know the ecosystem. And going through this route, they can enjoy both worlds because they're still selling a branded product. They're still enjoying a unique and exclusive product.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
But so they will not have competition on the buy box. They will not have competition. So it's not a generic product. It's not like buying wholesale product that someone else also can buy and then you have race to the bottom. We know how it goes. You start to work with repricers and you have to always optimize your price. But here is still exclusive, same like private label or selling your own brand. But then you don't have to do all the investment and time that it takes to build your own brand.
Agreed. Yeah, so, in the e-commerce gladiator program, we did that together, and I think we raised 40,000 US or more to do that. And of course, a lot of that was inventory, but there was also the time we had to, research, find the niche, find the brand, register, make a website, file the trademark, go through multiple different product testing. So whereas I think as a seller of a licensor or as a franchisee, I'm saying 10,000 at Blimp US is like a kind of at least a ballpark, but it could be less, and it could be less.
It could be much less.
It could be less. So.
Yeah. So the thing is, one thing that you didn't mention also is the team building.
True.
Now, most of the times this journey is tough, and you do it alone. As an entrepreneur, you will usually be very lonely through this journey. And this is a huge plus for this business model, because when you join a brand, even if it's a licensing program or franchising program, you join a community. You join the brand. The brand have an incentive to make you successful. He has an incentive to support you, to give you more resources and tools to succeed. You have someone to contact and talk to when you feel lonely and hard. And this is something that worth a fortune, because most people don't have that. They are lonely in their journey. They will take a course, they will learn, but then to do this journey by themselves, it's very hard. Agreed. So that's one very important point. Then the investment, so most of the money, of course, will go to inventory. So it really depends on what product are you going to sell, and what is the MOQ, what is the shipping cost of this model. This will determine how much capital you need at the beginning when you start. And the rest of the things are things like building your listings, producing the media, the product photos, the video, everything that is related to the marketing materials and stuff like that. This is also cost money, but here there is an advantage, because if you are going to work with a good brand that established a very good franchising or licensing program, they will have most of these resources ready. They will have most of these resources in let's say in reach, easily produce content. Most of the things will be ready, like packaging, like a logo of the brand, all the visual identity, all the design guidelines, things that cost fortune to create and develop when you build your own brand. Great. So it is a shortcut, but also saving. You're going to save money because you leverage something that is already existed.
Agreed. And then actually, we were just at that meetup, and I found a potential person who hopefully can join this program and benefit. And he took a course already over the years. He's been wanting to do Amazon for many, many years. But I think he's working. He's a foreigner in China, and he's been trying to do it, but doesn't know how to start. He's working at a factory doing marketing for them. But joining this program and then getting this experience, he could then even start a brand later himself, right? He could, use the Brand Masters program you're doing, make a brand. He could, do the same thing that we're doing as a brand, right? So it's a stepping stone. You don't have to stay in this, and it's a cash flow.
Exactly. It's you generate the cash flow, you learn while generating cash flow, and then you build your own brand, and then at some point yourself, you can build your own licensing or franchising program, and then you can expand your brand. And I think this is also an important point. Why would brands do that?
It's true.
What's the benefits for the brand?
There's so much content. We have we could do multiple podcasts, but on the brand side, of course, the benefit I think is to scale and to build out a community. I mean, my favorite parts are content and community. So I'm so excited to do this as a brand, because I can engage the community, people, empower them to have their own product, and help them with the launch process. True. But of course, I can scale because they share the investment in the inventory.
Right. So this is one point, one benefit for the brand side. Another benefit is that you have someone to operate his product. As a brand, when you start to scale and you start to have more than maybe 10 SKUs, it starts to become overwhelming. And then you need actually to hire people. Yeah. Hiring people means more investment, more time. Management, training people. Incentives. Yeah. So, but then, I don't know if you remember this scene from the movie The Founder, about McDonald's. So at the beginning, when he just started, he went to his friends to ask for investment. He got the money, and then they opened 2 or 3 branches, but it didn't work. He went to the branches to check, and he said people selling burritos and selling some other products that are not even related, and they didn't even took care of this business correctly. Okay, so the thing is that there was a point in the movie where he found this young couple, like a family, mid-level, middle class, and he approached them, he offered them this business model, and then they loved it, they took it, and they managed it really, really well. Yeah. And then he found the right formula for McDonald's, how to scale it. True. That was his target audience. And the reason it was successful is because when people manage their own stuff, they want to feel they own something. Yeah. They want to feel that is there. And when people manage their own stuff, usually they will put more efforts, and they will nurture it and cultivate it and build it in a better way. They will be more dedicated to the project. So you actually, as a brand, you build an army, of operators that actually sell the products and helping you increase your brand equity, but also they will enjoy it because each one that joins the brand is expanding the whole brand. Yeah. And this expansion and product variety will help all the franchisees or licensees to enjoy this benefit, enjoy the value.
Agreed. Let's get a little bit more technical, maybe. So I know people are probably wondering so there's multiple products, right? So a brand, of course, has products, usually it's in a niche category. So they want to participate as a seller. Then, so Excalibur Brothers, we're looking at like goblets and cups and tableware products. So they're wondering, they are the only seller, so they have rights as their licensee or a franchisee of that product. We're most likely doing a franchise program, so we'll help them with the sourcing and the logistics and everything. Packaging, everything. So they would be the exclusive seller of that product. So like you said, the buy box, we would make sure nobody else sells on that ASIN. Yeah. They are in Amazon, in the US market or whichever market, right? So it'd be like Amazon channel, US market, this ASIN.
Yeah. So they will be the legal rights owner on the products by the power of the contract and the way you design it. And the way we look at it in e-commerce is that the marketplaces, it's the territories, the new territories. So we started with Amazon, and Amazon have multiple marketplaces across multiple countries. We have the US, of course, North America, it's US, Canada, and Mexico. And then we have Europe, and then you have Japan and some other huge marketplaces. So also, of course, as a brand, it helps you to expand to this new territory. So usually when a franchisee create a contract is per ASIN. So it's per ASIN and per one marketplace. Of course, you as a brand can offer him like few marketplaces at the same time, but it means he will have to invest more. He will have to put more money for the let's say the setup fee, and then more money on inventory. So usually most of the licensees or franchisees, they will start with one product, one SKU in one marketplace. Then when they want to expand to more products, they will pay against the setup fee or more inventory for other marketplaces. And the idea is also to expand later to other marketplaces like Walmart, like eBay, and some verticals like marketplaces that marketplaces that have some kind of expertise in a specific industry. And that's the beauty in this idea, that the possibilities and the options to expansion here is are endless.
Agreed. And so then they start to sell, and they're the exclusive, and of course the brand helps with, we make the listing for them.
So you want to talk about the process maybe, like the steps?
Yes, I'm trying to kind of go through the steps. So
So the first step, of course, is applying to join the program. So you as a brand need to present your program, and then you get applications. And then when the application is approved, you start the onboarding process. And then if it's franchising, so you already have the product idea. So there is the product selection. Your franchisees will have to choose which product they are going to sell. And then after they choose the product, you will sign the contract. The contract will include all the details about the program, the duration of the contract, the royalty rate. We didn't speak about the royalties.
So much to talk about. I know.
So the royalties are the percent. This is the profit actually.
This is the main. We should definitely talk about.
Yeah, that's the profit of the brand. This is how the brand actually generate this income, this extra income from royalties. But here's the beauty, because
and then the sales goes to their seller essentially. That's what we also got.
They are business owners.
This is their seller.
They do the checkout.
That's a good. I think we could talk about royalties and then the ownership. So they, like people that join this program, would love to work with you. They register their own like company, U.S., Hong Kong, China, like wherever. Of course, they have to get the seller accounts, their seller accounts.
Of course.
Then the ASIN, they would be the only sole seller of that ASIN. They would sell on an ASIN, they're exclusive seller. They put the price, they order the inventory, the shipping plan goes to Amazon FBA or FBM, but it's mostly FBA. Then the customers buy, the money goes to their seller account, they're paid. And then there's the royalty. And then the royalty we could talk about a lot, but maybe you could give some examples of the different model or the thought process of the royalty rates and the margins.
Yeah, so royalty rate usually it's from the total revenue, so the total sales, and it can be a fraction of percent to even 12%. Some brands even take 15%, and big brands, But the average could be something between 3% to 5%, which is very reasonable if we think about how much margin or profit we want to allow the franchisee to keep, so the program will still be beneficial and valuable for him. Otherwise, you lose the incentive.
Agreed.
So usually as a brand with a strong brand equity, you will have this brand power to sell your product a little bit more expensive than your competitors, right? That's the whole point.
That's the point of a brand.
That's the point of a brand. So we were talking about the royalties and the margin in the category, and that if you are a good brand with enough brand equity, you could have enough margins that your licensees or franchisees will not have a negative impact on their profits from the royalties that they have to pay to you, compared to the average in the category.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to probably make more than if it was like a commodity product, of course, because it's a brand that has brand equity and value, and the customers want to pay more, and so there's a share of that to the seller or the licensee or franchisee and the brand, which is really exciting. So. Man, I know there's so much. I think we obviously hopefully can get you on future shows. We're next year, 2022. We're going to be really doing the next case study. We've done on a podcast before, but there's so much. What's the next step we should tell listeners today? To get more involved.
So it's getting very excited, and I think that we can already tell our audience, your audience, that we already have few brands onboarding on the platform with a very interesting licensing and franchising programs. Your brand, Excalibur Brothers, very interesting project. I really like it. Luciano did really good job. So we are building it. We are getting more brands on the platform. We are getting more licenses and franchises that want to build their businesses on Amazon online, generate income, and that's the future, man. Intellectual property.
It's true. I mean, brands, and then now licensing and IP, and then we can even talk about NFT and everything. But there's so much to talk about. So I think next is we're going to have a series of webinars. We won't announce the dates on this show, but it will be on the show notes. We'll definitely have one before the next year, 2022. Maybe if you're watching into the future, we hope to do even more. This is like a long-term program. I mean, like, Mayor, I don't know, it's been so many years you've been working on this, and I've been following along and involved on and off over the years. So I'm excited to help be part of this next stage of this brand licensing and your software. But yeah, so definitely tune into our webinar. It's going to be a live version, and we'll have right before the new year. So I think a lot of people I talking to, they want to start something big in the new year, start going on Amazon, right? Not just listening to podcasts, not just like taking courses, but this is a program, right? This is a business. It's not, we're not just selling a course here, right?
Yeah, then the program, we didn't talk about the program. So actually, every brand or the program itself provides the training that every franchisee or licensee needs in order to sell on Amazon. So the education, the training that you need in order to build your business, you get from this program.
Exactly. So yeah, yeah, it's everything. So yeah, it's going to be help with it's a business in a box. It's like you said, it's the listings, it's the program, the education, the community, you know, and it's win-win. It's not dog eat dog, right? It's we all come together. We all have our piece of the pie, and we all can make money and grow together. So I'm excited, Mayor. Let's see. I hope to see you all on the next webinar. We've had some great ones over the years, and he always brings amazing value. I mean, it's already on this podcast, and there's so much more we can share. And see you all at the webinar and in future shows.
See you. Okay, thank you.
Hey Mike, so how about if the person that is interested with the blip method doesn't have a company, or can they still join it?
Sure, for sure. I mean, anybody is welcome to join and start up their new company, and we're more than happy to help them. And it actually leads into one of our sponsors. They just renewed for the next year, 2022, Mercury.com. So they help you with US bank accounts remotely, so you don't have to go to apply in person. A lot of people here are using their service, ourselves included. Even for the blimp method, we use Mercury. So that's definitely one of our partners that we'd recommend in the blimp method for people with their bank account. And of course, the company could be that would be a US structure, and we can help them out with that. But of course, even if you're not joining Blimp, support our sponsor, apply with our special link for bonuses for both you as listener and for us at globalfromasia.com/Mercury. Okay, thank you so much, Mayor. I mean, man, I don't know if you could tell, Aubrey, but we could have gone for another hour, multiple hours. I mean, there was fascinating things, and even I picked up some new tidbits of these program. So I'm so excited to have Mayor. We'll be working really closely together into the new year in 2022.
Yeah, it will be really great to work with him. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll learn a lot from him too.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him so many years in the community, spoken at our cross-border summits at least a few times, and always delivers amazing value. And we also have the webinar, as we mentioned on the interview. Towards the end, Mayor and Aubrey will be here with us. We'll be doing a live webinar towards the end of this year to dive more into the technicalities of this new model of brand licensing for e-commerce or Amazon. I think we picked the dates. We've already had people signing up. I think they found the page somewhere on one of our links already, but we'll link that up on the show notes here on episode 366. It looks like we might do more than one time because we're getting a lot of great interest, but I think it's for the end of the year. I don't want to say it on the show because we'll probably have it more often, but if you go to our, I think we've already linked it up on globalfromasia.com/webinar. You'll see all of our different webinars we've done. You can look for the brand licensing program section, and then they'll link to the latest webinar landing page where you can opt in and sign up. And we'd love to see you there. You'll be able to ask Mayor and I live if you're there live. We'll probably have a limited time recording, and we'll probably continue to do more webinars as we grow. And what are some of your insights, Aubrey? Are you have questions or ideas that you want to talk about here that you've learned so far?
I'm just excited about this program also. And of course, to our listeners, they should take this opportunity to join this program as early as now because, yeah, as I've mentioned, we're giving a special offer that will end, I believe, tomorrow at 1 p.m. on China time, and it's 12 midnight on EST.
Yeah. So if you're on our email list, you'll have been getting those. And then as long as we have some space available until the year end, you can join this program. And And so I can talk about some of the people have been joining already. Some people can understand if they're maybe the right fit. And I already got some questions people asked me. So I'll go through those right now in our outro. So some people that have signed up, I don't want to say their name specifically, but they've actually already taken Amazon selling course already. They've been listening to podcasts for a long time, but they haven't started selling yet. They maybe are working in a company and are learning and thinking and very diligent. And I think this is a perfect program for them because it's a group environment. We're going to be doing this as a group. We're going to be in a cohort 1. Again, we're not going to have more than 10, maybe even less. We're not pushing it, but we don't want lots of people because we want this to be successful for every single person that joins. This is not just a information marketing course where you're going to just get pumped a course and you're got to be ready to take action and work with us. So we want to make sure that you're taking action. And another question people were asking me is, we did say 10,000 US investment. And some people were saying, like, is that on top of the program cost? Is that on top of the company setup costs? I'll be honest, we'll work with you and your budget. I just want to kind of put that number as a base. It could be less, it could be more, but that's all inclusive with the program and with the company setup. We also have our sponsor Mercury, which is a totally free and amazing option to get the US bank account, which is what we've used ourselves for our Amazon accounts. So, but of course, you got to set up a company in the US if you want that. You need a US company. We'll help you with that in the program, but I think that's depends on which options you choose in your company and your address and your service provider, but that's about 1,000. So we can make it work for less than 10 total, but of course, anything in life, the more you can invest, hopefully the more you can reward. So it's really about which product you want to sell. Some products will have higher turnover predictions than others. So if you want to start smaller and you don't want to take as big of an investment, we can find a product that's more suitable for you. If you want, you can go even bigger than 10, 20, we could even do maybe multiple products. Although we do recommend starting with one for you and for us to make sure we're aligned and everything is lined up. So, don't have to feel pressured about the investment, but I do want to make sure you have that budgeted and you don't need to pay that all up front. Of course, there's a program fee, which is also the listing and everything to get you set up. And then the company fee, the inventory, you don't need to make the full payment obviously right away, but you'll make some installments for the production and then the final shipping. So, that's just a range. But we want to make this accessible to as many people that want to take action and actually launch their products and learn the practices and then grow. Maybe, like we've said in the show, maybe make your own brand later, maybe add more products under this brand, do other brands, and make some real business deals and relationships at the same time, which is my favorite part, is the community, right, of Ray and the content. So super excited about this. Actually, we didn't pick a URL for today's show. Maybe we'll call it blimp-tech for technology, because this kind of, we talk a little bit about tech today. So globalfromasia.com/blimp-tech. And you can see the show notes and watch the video if you want to watch it, or if you listen on iTunes and audio. I think that's all we got today, Aubrey, right? And hopefully you can stay dry. I don't hear the rain there, but it's typhoon still happening.
Yeah, so I hope everyone is safe. And again, just the last words. Please don't let perfection stops you from taking action, because as Mike mentioned, we want people who wants to take action. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love it, Aubrey. It's true. I mean, yeah, you've been working great in their team, and it's because of that, right? If we try to be perfect, we'll never start. And being a perfectionist is of course good. I mean, some of my family members are perfectionists, but it's not really good if you want to start a business or start a new venture, because it's there's even a really famous saying from Reid Hoffman, I believe, the CEO and founder, or maybe previous CEO of LinkedIn. And he says, if your prototype is 100% perfect, then you waited too long. You should always be launching when maybe it's 80%, because if you wait, and I think Steve Jobs said it, or some other really smart people, I think Jeff Bezos says, if you wait for 100% of the information or 100% of the details or the perfection to make a decision or to start something, you'll probably never start. So of course don't go the other way and just jump into something without researching or knowing anything. It's of course a balance, but it's perfect. Yeah, like you said, take action. That's what we try to do in this show and a lot of people in our community, because you're not going to build anything or start anything if you wait until it's perfect. So with that in mind, I love it, Aubrey. Keep it up. And everyone else, enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your new year. I'd love to see you at least consider, even if you're not considering, give me some feedback about what you think about the Blimp program. Maybe you're already established seller or it's not interesting to you, but your feedback would be appreciated so we can continue to improve and grow this and make more successful sellers and business owners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and see you on our next show.
Yeah.
To get more info about running an international business, please visit our website at www.globalfromasia.com. That's www.globalfromasia.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our iTunes feed. Thanks for tuning in.